Good evening. The Livingston County Board of Commissioners meeting is called to order. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Helserman,
Here.
Commissioner Domas,
Here.
Commissioner Sample,
Here.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Here.
Commissioner Drick,
Here.
Commissioner Deaton,
Here.
Commissioner Panovich,
Here.
Commissioner Fiani,
Here.
Commissioner Gross.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
So moved Eaton.
Or Gross. Any discussion?
I have a discussion. I noticed there's no commissioner reports or commissioner comments. Is that? Yeah.
Right, that was part of the template that got carried over from last year, so.
I've had a report. I didn't read the agenda in detail like I just saw, because typically there's reports. I would, if the majority approved, I have a report I'd like to give on the pension stuff.
I certainly have no objection. Do you wish to amend the agenda to add reports?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a motion to amend the agenda to add, we'll call it the new number 4, reports. Is there a second? I heard seconded by Commissioner Helserman. Okay, any discussion on that proposed amendment? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So we now have a new item number 4 with reports. Commissioner Sample.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add the resolution that was passed in the earlier FAM committee meeting regarding the prosecutor's office's renovation.
So Commissioner Sample has made a motion to add a new item 5.3, resolution approving the construction of the office space at Livingston County Prosecutor Office. Is there a second?
Support.
Seconded by Commissioner Domas.
Wait a second. Won't those numbers become 6 because he added a new 4 for reports, and so-called the public becomes 5. Resolutions become 6.
So a new 6.3. So a new 6.3 is being proposed by Commissioner Sample and seconded by Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Discussion?
Yes, any discussion? Yep, Commissioner Drick.
Why the rush? I haven't heard anything about why we ought to rush and not wait 14 days to have it on the regular board meeting. What's the big deal that we need to rush through?
Commissioner Sample.
I don't exactly know what the date was when the water damage happened, but the office is pretty disjointed due to the water damage, and that's now almost finishing up. But part of the area that's being renovated is still tore apart. And then we held it up, completing the project. We held it up probably another 3 to 4 weeks, getting quotes and trying different ideas to, get what we were looking for out of the office. So this whole thing's been extended due to the fact that we've been trying to figure out what the best available way to use the space was. So I think that the patience has been really good out of the prosecutor's office. So I think if we could do something to get this ball rolling, I think it would be the sooner the better.
Do you have the agreement from John Stewart Associates that they're on this tomorrow if we vote on it today? Are they all set to rock and roll and be there first thing? Or are they gonna have to put it in their schedule of whenever?
Talking briefly with John Stewart, it seemed like he was, anxious he was anxious to help with the project. Now, I can't tell you if he's going to react to it any faster if we approve this today or in 2 weeks from now. But I can't imagine that that's gonna change how fast he reacts to being approved for the project. I mean, whatever that time frame is, it's either he would start that process when has a signed quote or contract, or 2 weeks from now, or after tonight. I think it's still 2 weeks.
I'm for expediting it.
Well, I like the way you're thinking.
I might be for expediting it, but I also have a problem that the only bid that I saw was dated May 1. I've seen bids now, a bid for 2 days prior to that. And I've heard oral amendments to put in 8K for tech and an amount for contingency. And it all changes around to perhaps 82,000. And that, I'm not sure if the profit overhead changes with our other changes. I'm a paper guy, and I'd rather see it all laid out in paper correctly, that we're voting on it and we know what we're buying. And I believe there's counter arguments, but I'm still a paper guy. So I'm not in favor of putting it on tonight's when we can do it in 2 weeks.
Commissioner Sample.
Yeah, not to go back and forth, but I don't think this is much different than any other resolution that we approve that has a sum to it. We have a sum for $82,000. It's to execute the work that's on this plan that was per a quote that was given by a contractor. My guess is once this funding is approved, facility services and the prosecutor will get together and get this thing signed under quote, the understanding of the work, and the work will take place. And it's gonna fit within the bucket of $82,000, or it's not gonna get done, or it's gonna have to come back to the board.
Commissioner Gross.
I agree with Commissioner Drick's assessment. As I indicated earlier, I'm 100% supportive of the prosecutor's office being combined into one workspace, but I don't believe they're going to be able to get this job done for 82,000. The IT aspect is an unknown. Could be 5,000, could be 10,000. We don't know. And hopefully within 2 weeks, we can have a final number. So I agree with Commissioner Drick. And however my colleagues continue with this, I will continue to vote no because of the financial impact.
Prosecutor Henry, are you able to speak to the proposed quote for $8,000 regarding IT?
May I?
Yes, please.
Thank you. During the break, I had an opportunity to talk with the Director of IT, Chris Toby. As I had indicated and mentioned earlier, he had been to our office to visit the site as well as talk with me. And I want to assure, and maybe I didn't make this, I guess I didn't mention it during my presentation. The IT wiring and everything that is there currently is going to be reused. The office space that is being proposed, that office space was already used by the Michigan Department of Corrections. And so we're reusing the wire and the technology from those office spaces that previously existed. Those were my discussions with the Director Toby. In fact, in my discussions with him when I was on the phone, he had mentioned, Carolyn, I think this is going to be around $4,800. And so again, I mentioned that during my conversations with him. I don't have anything in writing. I just know that they've been there multiple times to take a look at what the existing wiring is, what we would have to have for the actual walls. I mean, we're building walls to enclose that. But again, these are for office spaces that already existed from the Department of Corrections staff.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Any other discussion? We'll do a roll call vote, please. yes would be in favor of adding this to the agenda this evening. No would be to not add this to the agenda this evening.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
No.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes,
Commissioner Gross.
No.
Motion carries.
thank you. Any additional discussion on the amended agenda? All those in favor of approving the amended agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
The amended agenda is approved, 8-1. Next item on the agenda is call of the public. If anybody wishes to address the board this evening, you'll have 3 minutes.
I have one card, Steve Williams from Marion Township.
So it's kind of ironic that yesterday was Mother's Day, right? And you remember the last time I was here and I talked to you and I said, if you use Google AI and you look at the amount of money outstanding to primarily mothers in the state of Michigan, court-ordered child support, and you use our 2% population of the 10 million Michiganders, that is an amount around $89 million. And you just noticed that our budget or your budget, your income is projected at 68 million, correct? Not a word about that. But yet we're going to have presentation on the pensions, which is fine. You need to pay attention to that. I know that certain commissioners are focused on getting the most out of the money. This is true. But you know, how about helping the people that are paying those pensions? Right? How about doing a little bit for those people that are way behind? You know, as I said, it's not my situation that we're going broke, but a lot of people are. And a child does not get any cheaper to raise because somebody isn't paying their portion because they have a single parent. Now, Commissioner Nakagiri has also commented that he thinks the courts are overstaffed. And I can't argue with him on that because I don't know. What I do know is everything is way too slow, way too slow. And the people are waiting and the courts and the front of the court, they are not taking the action they need to take or that is available to them. For instance, and I may have talked about this before, if somebody doesn't pay for 2 months, friend of the court can take their driver's license away. And you may remember that happened in Washtenaw County, where that judge busted the guy on video driving with no driver's license because he wasn't paying child support. That was done by Saginaw County. Not exactly, you know, a bastion of conservatism. I would think you guys would be more in favor of holding people responsible for their obligations. And I'm not trying to blame every judge either. Remember, part of my complaint is this case has gone through 2 circuit court judges in Macomb, 2 here, and then Judge Hattie regarding the initial PPO request. The first judge was Judge McGivney. So Mr. Forrest John Putman tried to blow Judge McGivney off. Judge McGivney said, if you don't take care of this, I will have somebody come and pick you up. Mr. Putman pays $1,700 that day. So when front of the court tells me, oh, we can't take their license away, how will they get to work? I think that that's BS. I think these guys just are not paying. I know it's the case in our case. He does not want to be told what to do, and he is just not obeying the law. And that's why when I say protect the children, enforce court orders, that's what that means, right? The orders are already in place. You've already done the background. It's kind of like what you all have to do. Once you have the money that comes in as income, then it's actually easier to decide where it's going to go and what you're going to do with it. The hard part is getting the money. If you have a court order, people have already paid huge amounts for very expensive attorneys, and the order's in place, why aren't they enforcing the court orders? Oh, and in our
You have
case,
15
judge,
You have
15 seconds? Okay. The judge is actually overturning court orders that were already issued by other circuit court judges, including the man who's now the chief judge. So the timing, the waste of time, where you all come in terms of funding certain court positions and everything, I'm just amazed that nobody talks about this and that we do not, you know, we say we're a conservative county, we say we're a safe county. That's not how the courts are acting. At least Judge Susan Longsworth is not acting that way. Thank you.
We have any additional cards this evening?
No additional cards.
Thank you. Is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to address the board during the call of the public?
I do not see any, Commissioner.
Thank you. Call of public is now closed. We're moving on to board reports. Commissioner Nakagiri.
I have a PowerPoint that I would like to have Mr. Kappelman present here. So at the last board meeting, there was, I was not prepared as well as I should have been because, the item was put on the agenda that evening. So I wanted to refresh review pension data previously presented, address some questions presented at the recent meeting, and then ask my colleagues to consider the merits of saving taxpayers $3.1 to $16.1 million. Next slide, please. So I'm not going to present the whole presentation. I just wanted to excerpt what I thought were the key ones. So there was a stress test performed, and the objective was to compare 10 years of performance of MERS performance under three market conditions. The mid scenario would be if MERS actually achieved its 6.93% growth. A bear market scenario, which was 10 consecutive years where they ended up with their lowest return, and that was 3.8% growth per year. And then a bull market scenario where they, in their best 10 years in a row, 10 consecutive years, they had 11%. And in the analysis, a constant was, we are currently paying $6.4 million in annual county expenditure for what we're paying MERS right now. And we would continue to pay that whether we had a bond or whether we didn't have a bond. That $6.4 million was a constant. Next slide, please. The result, the bond, issuing the bond from a financial standpoint, won in every scenario. So in MERS expected market return, we would end up at the end of 10 years with $5.3 million more in assets if we issued the bond. In a strong market, it would have been 16.1 million and more in pension assets with the bond. And in a weak market, I'll say a bear market, it would still be favorable by $3.1 million. Next slide, please. A question arose in the prior meeting about, what would happen if the interest rate went up? Because that analysis I just spoke about was done at 3.1%. A question was raised, well, what does it look like if it was 3.5%? I had it for 13 years in this analysis. So, in the first row of data, the principle is the same, whether you've got 3.1% or 3.5%. You have to pay back the principal of $12.9 million. The annual payments are different because the higher interest rate in the middle column, the difference per year is about $30,000. Over the course of 13 years, it's $390,000. So the answer to the question, if we issued a bond with 3.5%, it would cost us an extra $390,000. If you think back, even in the bear market scenario, we still come out favorable. Next slide, please. So a comment was made, that Moody's, when they do their analysis, of our bond rating, that Moody's treats debt, I'll say bond debt versus pension debt differently. And my reading through Moody's methodology, I have my source listed there. The two numbers circled in blue are two metrics that Moody's uses: debt to full value, and what that means, full value is the full value of our assessed property values, and then debt to revenue that we get in a year. And so they weight those in their 100% weighting formula, each at 5%. So the debt is weighted at a total of 10%. On pension liabilities, Moody's also weights that at 10%. So, the Moody's does, the comment that Moody's doesn't rate debt or pension as critically as they do debt, I would disagree with that comment. Next slide, please. And actually, Moody's, if you're reading through the fine print, they actually are more critical of pension debt. And they, where MERS says their expected rate of return is 6.93%, Moody's is skeptical of that, and they think those rates are too high. And in fact, Moody's would use when they evaluate our pension liabilities, they would say, well, we will earn 5.6%, which is basically high-grade corporate bonds. And so they take a more conservative approach than MERS. And when they do that, MERS says, at 6.93%, we have a pension debt of 44 million. But if our assets are only earning 5.6%, then our pension debt, according to Moody's, is 84 million. So pension debt, in my mind, in Moody's mind, is weighted more critically in their formula on their bond ratings. Next slide, please. I did a full faith and credit analysis because there were concerns brought up about, that I interpreted as, are we going to stress ourselves in our ability to issue debt? So there, on the first line, 2026 assessed property values, that's from equalization. The assessed property values in Livingston County are $18 billion. And by constitution, we can issue debt only up to a limit of 10% of assessed value, which means our allowable debt in line 3 is $1.8 billion. Currently, we have full faith and credit issued, which does count against our debt. Those are things like lake level stuff, all that type of thing. And we are at 29.6 million. That leaves us a remaining allowable debt if we wanted to issue. And I'm not advocating going up to the limit. I don't want to go anywhere close to the limit. Like 0 is a good number. But $1.8 billion. With our proposed 911 bond for the towers, $12.9 billion. That still leaves us about $1.7 billion in allowable debt. We are nowhere close to the coming up to that constitutional limit of 10% of assessed values. Next slide, please. I took a look. I was curious on how Livingston County stacked up versus the townships, the cities, and the villages in our jurisdiction. And so what I've listed here are the governmental entities that still have some defined benefit obligations. If you are fully onto defined contribution obligations and have no more defined benefit, your township or city or village won't be listed here. But so these are a listing of all of the ones that have current, I'll say government, local units of government with defined benefit. So the percentage ranging from a high of low of 0.3% to a high of 10.3%. That's the percentage of that entity's general fund budget that they are spending on pensions. So Hamburg Township, for example, on their general fund, their annual required contribution is it constitutes 0.3%. On the other end of the scale, the city of Howell, their pension liabilities constitutes 10.3%. We are up in the top 3 at 6.5%. So and I'm not saying that we aren't fiscally responsible and fiscally conservative, but there's these numbers would suggest there's room for improvement. Next slide, please. In terms of those same entities, the cities, the villages, and the townships, if you sum up their their debt load according to the Michigan Department of Treasury. And the most recent statistic they had was back in 12/5 of 25. All of the Livingston County cities, villages, townships, 33 million in debt. The county has, at that time, was $49 million in debt. So it's a little bit surprising to me to see that we, as touting our fiscal responsibility, or have more debt than, all of the local units of government combined. Next slide, please. That's it. So I wanted to share that with my colleagues. I think we are, if we do not go ahead with the bond, we are leaving money on the table. We are costing the taxpayers anywhere from 3 million to 16 million more in expenditures than they otherwise have to spend. I do acknowledge that, this is the unfunded liability goes up and down according to the stock market. But, if you looked at this debt that we owe and said, hey, this is a bond debt, or we owe this money to somebody, by us saying we are not going to take out the bond, we are making a conscious decision to pay more in taxpayer funds than we have to. I'm opposed to that. I'm disappointed that we're even having this conversation, and I just wanted to share this information. And if in sometime in the future we want to revisit it, I'd be happy to have more detailed discussions with any of my colleagues, show you where the numbers came from. Anyway, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Nakagiri. Would you mind pulling up the slide presentation again and going to the last slide? Yep, thank you. For this slide here, I was curious, I see the numbers, townships, cities and villages, 33 million, and then the county 49.8 or 49.9 million, we'll call it. Do you have the percentages though of the debt to
The percent funded liability, or?
no, well, actually that was gonna be my second question, but their revenue, their annual revenue. So if you took the townships, the cities and villages that you used to sum or derive the sum of the 33 million, what are their annual revenues?
I could get that for you. I don't have it. The number that I think is a surrogate, is a good surrogate for that is, what percentage of your budget are you spending on your, actuarially required contribution? So we were up at 6.5% of our
budget.
Of our
Yes,
budget is
yes.
spent on pension obligations, and most of our pension obligation is debt. When MERS charges us, for our annual payment, I think that's a fair statement. I'm kind of looking toward Nathan, that the bulk of it is debt. Yeah. So, we, as a percent of our budget, we're spending 6.5%. The city of Howell was spending over 10%. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, Hamburg was at 0.3%.
Yes, yeah. And then if you were to go back a couple slides, I think, or let me ask you this first, for the 33.2 million, is that comprised of the municipalities that were on the previous slide when you did the,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Would you mind going back to that slide?
You're looking at one for the townships?
Yes, the one that had the townships.
Should be towards the end. I should have numbered the slides. Sorry.
Right there.
So it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nine townships. I just wanted to do a quick calculation. I think each township roughly is about an annual revenue of 6 million. Is that-
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, I was just curious. I was gonna try and do a quick estimate, but that's okay. So, no, I appreciate this information. Are there any questions among the board? Any comments?
I'll definitely get you
Yeah.
the information you're asking for, and if any other commissioners have, specific questions, either now or they can email me. I do think it merits, at a minimum, revisiting the issue and at a maximum, moving forward with it, but, like I said, it's the will of the majority, so.
Commissioner Gross.
I'm wondering if Commissioner Nakagiri would be kind enough to provide us with a copy of his presentation. We've not been privileged to see the information before the meeting. There's a lot to digest in a short presentation.
Yes.
I
yes,
may have some questions, so I'd like to have the data.
Sure.
Commissioner Helserman.
The other consideration I think we might make, if we are considering to taking out a bond in the near future, if that is the case, this may be the very best option. We have the option that we turned down, to go ahead with that. It may be our best option. If in the next given time, we're gonna put up for a bond, I think is probably one of the best times to do it right now. And so if we resurrect the idea, I'm not opposed to it. So.
Commissioner Gross.
When we had our discussion about the bond or no bond several weeks back, do I recall that we've got an 18-month window to make a final decision? Is that correct?
It's less than that now. It's 18 months from the time we pay the bill on the tower project, which, so less than 18 months is probably 400. Something like that.
And do we have any current information on what interest rates are, say this week?
I can get it. I haven't. Yeah, tomorrow.
And I'm just wondering if once the president and the administration resolve the current conflict, I wonder what that will mean in interest rates. There's been speculation that fuel costs would drop, other costs affecting the American population would drop. I wonder what that effect would be on interest rates. Who knows? Thank you.
Commissioner Nakagiri.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I want to comment on Commissioner Helserman. I agree with his sentiment that if we were ever going to issue debt, this would be I can't think of a better use of the debt. And the reason I say that is we are, taking out debt at an interest rate of, we'll estimate to be 3.5%, 3.1, 3.5%, to pay off debt that is costing us 6.93%. I mean, if you think about it, and it's not an apples to apples comparison, but if you said, well, okay, do I want to refinance my mortgage at 6.93%? Would I take out another mortgage for 3.5%? I think clearly the answer that all of us would say is yes. So from that, and using that as an analogy, we won't always have an opportunity to take out debt to pay off other debt. Sometimes, maybe we'd have to take out debt, but we would use it for some capital improvement, which is not the same as what we're doing in terms of, I'll say, saving the taxpayers' money. So, thank you.
Commissioner Gross.
One more thing. I guess this is a request to CFO Mangan, if I may. When you received the information from MERS regarding what we should be putting for MERS payments, pension payments in our budget for next year. As I recall, that generally comes in June. Is that, do you know if that's about?
These those numbers that we received for computing what the employer costs are for the defined benefit plan. There's also the defined contribution plan. Well,
Am I correct in assuming that when MERS provides that data, they would indicate what the interest rate is? I mean, do we know what 6.93 is going to continue?
give us the discount rate that they expect to earn at.
Can you make sure we get that as soon as possible?
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's all.
Moving on to the resolutions for this evening. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing an application for the 2026 Safe Streets and Roads for All grant?
So move Gross.
Moved by Commissioner Gross, seconded by Commissioner Helserman. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Resolution is approved 9-0. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution approving a 3-year extension of the employment agreement with Nathan Bird for County Administrator?
You move the resolution, Mr. Chair. Support, Helserman.
Moved by Commissioner Domas, supported by Commissioner Helserman. Any discussion? Commissioner Dirk, did you have a
Yes,
comment?
under the with cause, it's limited to felony convictions. And I can see, that there could be a multitude of misdemeanors that we might want to have and the option to say it's cause. I mean,
Do you wish to,
I would like to just change the word felony to conviction of a crime.
so I'm looking here.
What page are you talking about?
It's page 2 of the contract, but the agenda page 93 of 96.
Well, that's a interesting proposal. I have to say you actually have me stumped because it wouldn't be a motion to amend the resolution because that's not in the resolution, it's in the contract. So,
But if we're gonna vote on the contract, we have to agree on it.
yes, so let's see here. The Livingston County Commissioners hereby approves an extension of the employment agreement with Nathan Bird for the position of County Administrator for 3-year term. Commence on.
And I suppose the first to see if it's distasteful or okay with Nathan himself, or whether he wants to think about it and get back to us.
Well, I'm sure this puts him in the most awkward of positions to negotiate his contract in a public meeting.
Well, let's negotiate in a public meeting. Hello, everybody. I don't care. But this is standard. There are misdemeanors that you probably wouldn't fire me over, not that I've ever been convicted of one. But I'd want to be cautious about any misdemeanor. That would be just cause to fire me and not give me severance, because again, there are some very minor
There's
things
some very minor misdemeanors.
that could count as a misdemeanor, not that I've ever been convicted of anything. So I don't really care, but I will care if I get a speeding ticket and I fight it and I lose and we determine that somehow I've sullied the reputation of the county.
Or something.
It's a civil infraction, whereas
Whatever.
WI,
Yeah,
you consider it a crime.
and that's listed in
So-
there,
But if he's in Utah and the speeding laws are different,
right?
In a state of
that'd be
Michigan.
difficult.
Yeah, I don't really care what you do with it. I don't think it's necessary, but whatever you want to do is fine with me on that.
I personally don't want to see an amendment to the contract, especially at this hour of the call it negotiations. So if there is a proposal, I'll entertain I guess, a motion to amend the contract. If that's desired.
I'd like to hear what the other brains on the commission.
Well, I'm opposed to any type of amendment. Commissioner Sample, I'll start with you.
Oh, I'm opposed.
Commissioner Deaton,
I'm adamantly opposed.
Commissioner Domas,
Same as me.
Commissioner Helserman.
I don't think we should be discussing this in open session, first of all.
Can't do anything
So
about
I
that.
think,
Now that
so
I
I
think
have-
about
I
it,
have-
now that I think about it, I think you're right. I withdraw it.
so I'm,
No, it's withdrawn.
yeah, that's,
We'll proceed with a roll call vote to approve the contract.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes,
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution approving the construction of the office space at Livingston County Prosecutor Office?
So move sample.
Support Thomas.
Moved by Commissioner Sample, supported by Commissioner Domas. Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes,
Commissioner Gross.
No.
Motion carries.
thank you. Is there a motion to approve claims dated May 11th, 2026, and payables dated April 14th through April 26th, 2026?
Move to approve both. Gross.
Support Deaton.
Moved by Commissioner Gross, seconded by Commissioner Deaton. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Accounts payable reports are approved. At this time, we have the second call of the public. If anybody wishes to address the board, you have 2 minutes. Just please state your name and municipality.
I have one card, Steve Williams, Marion Township.
Imagine that. I was looking up those budget numbers for you guys, and most of the townships don't report their annual income, or at least Google AI doesn't have it yet, so, but speaking of figures, nobody has ever challenged me since July of last year on any of the figures I've given you, and I am welcome to talk to you if you ever have any questions or you want to see the documentation I haven't already given you in writing. So, and we've talked before about how the judges are among the most highly paid taxpayer subsidized positions in the entire county, $172,000 a year. Congress people only make $174,000 a year. So I kind of expect, you know, like in the Army, you have a graduated level of expectation for pay and rank. And yet this judge goes and hands things off to counselors, to guardian ad litems. Remember, $330 an hour for a guardian ad litem. And what did she do? She talked to the child twice in 7 months, even though by definition, that's supposed to be a priority, communications with the child, right? Remember, child in the court system becomes a ward of the court, and then the judge hands it off to the gal. She changed the exchanges from 2 p.m. on Sunday at the Novi Police Department to 5 p.m. on Friday. Now, anybody that's ever driven on I-96 near Novi knows what a bad idea that is, and that was a unilateral choice. And why? Did either side complain about 2 p.m. on Friday or Sunday? No. She's just justifying her own billing at $330 an hour. Then she said, oh, neither parent can call the child during the day. You've heard me complain about that at school. How idiotic is that? She does not enforce the terms of the court orders that are already in place, like allowing either parent to call a child between 6:30 and 7 at night on a day they didn't have custody. That seems pretty logical. The boy is 8 years old.
You have 15 seconds.
And she prohibited me from going to exchanges. She got the judge to prohibit me, although they can't control my actions. They put it on my wife. Now, remember, 28 years in the Army, top secret clearance for 30 years. I currently have a secret clearance as opposed to Forrest John Putman, who has federal and state tax liens in 3 counties and all kinds of other abuse that I've told you about. Thank you.
Thank you.
2 minutes goes by quick.
Do we have any additional cards?
I have no further cards.
Thank you. Is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to address the board? The call of the public?
No, Commissioner, I don't see any.
Thank you. It's time the second call of the public is closed. Is there a motion to move into closed session to discuss a written legal opinion in accordance with MCL 15.268 H?
I'll move Halverman. Second, same.
Moved by Commissioner Helserman, supported by Commissioner Sample. We'll have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drake,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Panovich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes,
Commissioner Gross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you. We'll move into closed session.
Give me a second, Commissioner, and I'll get everybody into the waiting room.
Make this quick. I
No, I'm just joking with you. I was gonna. But I could if I had to.
They are, that's what I'm thinking of.
Can you all hear me?
An open session. We're now back in open session. Is there a motion to authorize settlement of charge number 471-2025-06-824 under the terms of the county council's proposal to authorize the chair or county administrator?
So move sample.
I'm sorry, to authorize the chair execute the settlement agreement and to authorize and approve changes to county policy consistent with the terms of the settlement agreement.
So move sample.
There's a move by Commissioner Sample, supported by Commissioner Nakagiri. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is approved, 9-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move, Helserman. Support Deaton.
All those in favor to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned.